Everyone, I just give you a simple introduction while I start my video. So, there are many people who live one life, and there are people who learn how to live many. Like on the surface, he was just another traveler, an American passport, a calm presence, a calm personality, a normal man moving through hotels, airports, and cities. But behind that ordinary image, there was a man living a completely different reality. Multiple identities, multiple words, multiple truths that never meet each other. His name was David Hadley. And what makes his story so disturbing is not just what he was involved in, but how easily he blended into the world while it was happening. Because sometimes the most dangerous people are not the ones who stand out. There are the ones who disappear in the plain sight. And now I'll tell you about his story, about everything that you have to know. Who is, like, what about his personality? Who is David Hadley? I'll give you a cold open right now. What if the most dangerous person in the room looked completely ordinary? What if an ordinary, an ordinary person, an American passport, a calm smile, a normal traveler. But behind that face was a man moving between countries, identities, and worlds, silently shaping one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in the modern history. Again, his name was David Hadley. David. David Hadley. And the most terrifying part is not what he did. The most terrifying part is that, but how easily he did it without ever looking suspicious. The man who lived 100 lives. So I'll conclude whole story into different chapters. The chapter one is split origin. David Hadley was not born into darkness. He was born into contradiction. An American mother, a Pakistani father. Two worlds, two identities, two realities. One demanded freedom, the other demanded royalty. And somewhere between those worlds, a child learned a dangerous skill. That skill was how to become different people for different environments. Psychologically, this is where fragmentation begins. Not evil, not ideology, but adaptation. And adaptation, if it never integrates, become disguise. The chapter 2 is the first mask. As he grew older, Hadley didn't settle into one identity. He learned something more powerful. Identity is flexible. Like in Pakistan, he was one version. In America, another. In criminal crisis or in criminal circles, another. In official systems, another. Did you see it? He is a different man. He's a con man. He began building what psychologists call compartment, compartmentalized selfhood. I'll explain it. Different lives, no emotional overlap. And that is where the danger begins. Because when a person can separate who they are, they can separate what they do from what I mean. Chapter 3 starts from crime, control, and his reinvention. His early adulthood moved into crime, drug trafficking, deception, and survival. Not ideology first, but something more primal risk, reward, and control. He was eventually arrested and became a cooperating informant for US authorities. But there the but here's the psychological twist. He did not just switch sides. He learned both sides. Criminal network, law enforcement systems, covert movement, hidden communication. He was not just surviving the system anymore, he was learning how system think. And he know about the knowledge become more powerful in the wrong hands. And if the knowledge is in wrong hands, then the radical shift occurs. Radicalization is not sudden. It's a slow narrowing of identity. For Hadley, multiple pressures converged. Identity confusion, search for belonging, exposure to extremist ideology, attraction to certainty, need for significance. And ideology offers something more powerful. You are not lost, you are chosen. Psychology, this is where fragmentation becomes alignment. Not healing, but direction, and direction can be deadly when it is absolute. Chapter 5, The Invisible Role. What is the role? Hadley's role in the Mumbai conspiracy was not public leadership, it was something far more covert. Blending in, he moved through spaces that appeared ordinary, but according to the court records, he gathered information for extremist handlers and supported planning activities through repeated international travel. What made him effective was not violence, it was invisibility. He looked like a traveler, he behaved like a civilian, but he functioned as something else entirely. That is the core fear of modern covert extremism. Extremism. It doesn't not announce itself, it integrates into normal life. Then, chapter 6 begins the double life and mindset. To understand Hadley, you don't ask what he was he good or evil. You have to ask how many selves can one person sustain before reality breaks apart. His psychology appears built on extreme compartmentalization, emotional separation from consequences, adaptive deception, identity fluidity, thrill seeking behavior, strategic social camouflage, and once a mind learn, it can be different people and none of them collide. The moral center weakens not instantly, gradually, and silently. From there, the chapter 7 begins of his arrest and revelation. In 2009, he was arrested in Chicago and the illusion collapsed. Court testimony revealed a life built across layers of deception. Criminal networks, extremist connections, international movement, hidden roles in the violent conspiracy. He later pleaded guilty and received a 35-year-old sentence in the United States. But by then, the story was no longer just about one man, it was about a system failure. How someone so embedded in normal life could also live so far outside it. The final psychological takeaway, it was my consent, it was my psychological idea that I just conclude the whole story from my point of view, from my psychological takeaway that David Headley is not just a story of terrorism. He is a story of fragmentation. Because the most dangerous transformation is not reach, it's not ideology. It is this, the ability to divide the self into separate realities, the ability to divide the self into separate realities until contradiction no longer feels like a contradiction. And one that and when that happens, a person can live as a traveler, a criminal, an informant, and an extremist without ever feeling like they are charging at all. So that's my conclusion about his life, about his criminal record, why he is extremist, was his of fragmentation. It's not about ideology, it's about separate realities, and it's about contradiction that no longer feel about like a contradiction. So that's a story about David Hadley. If you want to know about his dark psychology, just comment down. I'll give you about his like about the short summary about his psychological profile. If you condense him psychologically, highly adaptive, deeply charm, capable, risk seeking, manipulative, identity fluid, secretive, morally split, drawn into significance, able to hide in plain sight. So, if you want to know about his all details, about his criminal record, of how he can perform that activities in Mumbai, as well as several attacks, which his name, he's the con man. He's the best terrorist. For me, terrorism is not best, or terrorist is not best. But David Hadley is the best. For me, he's the best con man. No one can find him. No one can find him suspicious. He is the person who can tell us how system can be failed. I think he's the best example to change our system while knowing about him. डेविड हेडली कोई साधारण आदमी नहीं है. He is a something that beyond our mindset, beyond our psychological thrill. He's a person who is a real terrorist. I can't I can't explain him right now. I have a like 10 pages script which I had write on him. But right now I have no words to tell you guys about his psychological pattern. कोई टेररिस्ट कैसे बनता है ये इस पे निर्भर नहीं करता. उसकी सोच क्या थी इस पे निर्भर करता है. एंड based on his thinking and based on his actions, we can't define him that he is a real terrorist. I have no idea at that time that 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 I can explain you about his behavior analysis. I don't know. He's a smarter than system. His confidence in deception is different. His desire for significance is top level. Self importance, like they may also have been deep insecurity beneath that, but often gradually hides fragmentation. I can't explain you at that time he is ideological or opportunistic. Most likely, as per me, he is a hybrid. His ideology is belonging, certainty, cause, identity, justification, and its opportunism is status, usefulness, covert importance, excitement, personal power. Violent actors are sometimes driven by both belief and ego. The combination can be especially dangerous, and that combination is called David Hadley. So, bye bye, thank you.